It's time for another edition of Mase in Your Face. Now, along with college football immortality, Glen Mason, here's Dan Barrero.
If KFAN the restaurant was still around, would KOC be offended if the menu included the KOC Caesar word salad? That's from Grant in Maple Grove. That's pretty good. We have a guy in studio. Occasionally could cook up some word salad.
No, that's not
after
true.
Games and during the week.
No,
previewing games.
I was very succinct in what I said.
And direct.
Yeah. And
to the point?
I might have been an open book, but I got right to the point.
Well, to your detriment, you told me. Many times you said that's still one of your biggest regrets, that you told people what they wanted to hear rather than what they needed to hear.
No, I was a need.
Fact or fiction?
I was a need to hear guy.
Oh.
And some guys, like Jerry Kill.
Yeah.
And he was smarter than I was. Kansas guys, I'm like a fox. Jersey guys are just
so the good old boy, shucks, good old boy thing you thought was a ruse on his part?
If I had to do it all,
in the great state of Minnesota.
There it is, see?
Yeah. I tell the story all the time. I love to tell it, but, Jerry, you'd hear him all the time. Minnesota, best place I ever lived. Rebecca and I out there, we'll be buried here right in Minnesota. I want to tell you, when I'm done coaching, I'm staying right here. I'm in the car. And I'm listening to the radio. Newsflash, news alert, Jerry Kill stepping down. I'm going south on 35. Next thing you know, there's Rebecca and Jerry. They went by me about 95 miles an hour with the U-Haul. I said, where are you going? And so here I was.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
Still here.
Yeah.
Picking up the pieces.
Yeah.
That's very, very true.
But I was not a word salad guy.
You aren't?
I'm not. I'm kind of
okay.
Terse sometimes and right to the point.
That's
and,
for sure.
But that's the way it is.
Terse, tense, defensive.
Like a little bit, When you have to field one of those lousy questions, stupid questions from Dan Barrero, what do you expect? I mean, you give a good question, you get a good answer.
Somebody had to ask him.
I know.
Sometimes the stupid question elicits the greatest response.
Yeah. You hope to get a stupid answer. Then you can really.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of it.
Then you can throw that bait out there.
That's the beauty of it.
And here you go.
How about my Indiana Hoosiers?
Oh, boy.
Honestly.
I tell you, they're absolutely, we say it every week. Let's face it, they're legit. The only game they played two games where they could have lost, but they won both. And that's the mark of a real good football team. Against Iowa.
That's true.
And against Penn State. But that last play, that catch that kid made, wow. And historically, that would have been a game that Penn State would have won.
No doubt.
And Indiana would have lost. And you would have said, boy, they played great, but they just couldn't get it. The mindset, And that guy made that catch. And they did, right now, they're well coached. They've got a lot of talent. People, if they didn't have an IU on their helmet, they had Buckeye leaves on their helmet. People would even throwing more praise at them. But they're well coached. They've got talent, and they believe. They're real. They're going to play, and they probably have already. They've played some teams that have more talent than them, but no one's playing better as a team than they are.
Do you still know your college rules? Do you think you're still conversant in the most important college rules? It's been a long time since you've coached. Yeah. I want to try this one on you because Guardsy might know the answer to this one too. So, what's the rule in college regarding shoving a wide receiver out where he's not given the chance to bring his feet down? In other words, if the rule is it's still up to the receiver, you can shove him out and it's an incomplete pass. It looked to me like the defensive back had a chance to do that but didn't really try, and that would have negated the receiver's, I think, chance to end up making such a ridiculous catch.
I'm embarrassed to say I'm not. I know it's different than pro football. It's the opposite.
Okay.
So in pro football, can you shove the guy out of
Yes, 100%.
You can?
Yes, there's no force out anymore. Vikings lost a playoff spot.
Yeah. They did.
When the rule was reversed. It was different back then.
Then I'm not 100% sure. I think it's the opposite.
What do you think, Guardsy?
No, I think I think it's the same now that you can shove them out.
So you can shove them out.
It used to be different.
That to me was the surprise. It almost looked like, I don't want to get too close to him
if
now.
If you would have just kept lifting him,
yes, 100%.
You could have just thrown him into the student
He had no
section.
chance. I still can't believe he got the foot down after going that high in the air.
It's amazing the official got it right.
He did, right from the beginning.
He got it right. And
yes.
my first glance, I said, he's out of bounds.
Me too, yeah.
And then in that slow motion, and you looked at it, you said, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. And now, well, they're set pretty much for the Big Ten title game, but they're going to still, my prediction is they will still be, I bet you they're 5-point underdogs to Ohio State. Is that too high, you think? I think that's what it's going to be, whether it should be or not. I still think because it's Ohio State.
You know, you keep getting in this gambling thing. I got a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I don't blame you for
about
that.
This. And you know what? You and I have talked about the problems of this gambling for a couple of years now. Ever since all this gambling on the phone and stuff, I'm going to tell you, there's nothing worse. The biggest threat to sports is if people think the fix is in.
That's
and what
correct.
I'm talking about, if the gamblings are, and look at it, it's more and more. And so what does the NCAA do in their infinite wisdom? Now they're saying,
let the kids
they can
gamble
bet
on
pro sports.
Yeah.
No, why? Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? Whoever made that rule, the fix is in with those guys.
Yeah, it's not good.
You know, the money going to be made on those kids that can bet on the games off their phone. Why? Why would you do that? It makes absolutely no sense. And then when you think about this baseball deal, I knew that you could bet on certain things like, is the next pitch going to be a ball to strike? You don't think that's not easy to fix? Or someone told me you can bet on over or under the speed of the next pitch. In
the Class A case, that's one of them. It's velocity. It's unbelievable.
I mean, does anybody think that the money that could be made, the only way they get caught is when some dummy bets too much money on a game.
That's how it's happened.
They get greedy.
Have you ever been a sports bettor?
Never.
Have you ever been attracted by it?
No.
Do you think? No. Why is that?
I'm going to tell you. You know how I learned the lesson? This goes way back. They used to have, I think, on all college campuses, they used to have these parlay sheets. You know, where you'd pick. You had to pick 20 winners, whatever it would be, and everybody. I'm not saying it was right. No one ever thought anything about it, but I remember at Ohio State, they pass it around, and guys would do it every month. And you think the coaches would know? Coaches never won that there. It was always the secretary or the janitor or the bus driver. And I thought, watching all this film and you think you know what's going on? No. Sometimes, and you've heard me say that, what was it? What was the game where I said, well, I tell you one thing, if I was a gambler, which I'm not, I'd take the Gophers and the points. What game was that?
I don't remember.
That was Iowa.
Oh, it was Iowa? Yeah.
It was like 8.5 points.
Yeah, I agree. We all did.
I said, Iowa,
that's too many points.
They can't score that many points. I said, I bet the house. Well, I'm glad I'm not a bettor because I'd have lost my house.
Did you ever have to talk to any coaches about that? Any assistants? Any times you're like, hey, let's just go easy on what are you trying to do? What you can't get involved in this kind of stuff?
I used to, part of the deal every year, just like you go over things that you expected from your players. Same thing with the coaches. I mean, a lot of things that you went over. But I say, hey, fellas, I'm not approved. But you get a drunk driver, and you're probably going to lose your job.
Right.
If you involve, you can't even get involved in. Back in my day, you couldn't get involved in a March Madness office pool. You remember Rick Neuheisel got
that's true. You're right,
in a jam out there at the University of Washington.
Did you ever scalp your Rose Bowl tickets? Mike Tice got in trouble he had Super Bowl tickets and got caught many years ago as head coach. Did you ever have access to tickets and then you scalped them and got caught?
No, you didn't. As a Big Ten coach, you didn't have access.
You didn't get those kind of perks. Those perks didn't exist.
No.
I'm just looking for
if I did, I probably would have, I guess.
Well, that's not good.
I don't know.
Sean Salisbury, who we have on almost every week, he claims that the whole thing, the reaction to that is ludicrous, that players did that forever. Whether it's right or not, that in pro, I'm talking about pro at least, that they did it all of the time.
Well, when I was coaching, assistant coach at Iowa State, okay, and in the old Big Eight, which was a great...
Who was the head coach that you were working for?
Earl Bruce.
Oh, Earl Bruce.
It was a great football conference, okay? Well, when you played an away game at either Oklahoma or Nebraska. Back in those days, you got your hands on the tickets. Actually, the hard tickets. So when you played away, when the bus rolled up at the hotel and you got off, there were the guys buying the tickets right off you right there. And no one thought anything of it. I mean, that's just the way it was.
You didn't feel guilty at all?
No.
Well, it's not legal. I don't think it's the right you're supposed to do. I don't think your AD would like it.
Aren't
there rules on that, Gartsy?
Didn't you want more Cyclone fans in the crowd?
I think he was selling them too.
That's probably true. Yeah, I forgot Earl Bruce was there.
I mean, good God, don't let the players make any. Back then, that was. Yeah. Now look what they make.
Well, now
it's crazy.
They're doing very well. Let's do some bonus bucks, Gartsy. What do you think?
Fan and 2 men and a junk truck want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Go to KFAN.com and enter the keyword check. It's KFAN.com and the keyword is check.
A lot of good questions coming into the Bradshaw and Brad KFAN text line for Mase. Some of them he'll like. Some of them will probably annoy him. We'll probably go to the ones that annoy him because that's what we like to do on this show. Back in just a minute.
You can join me. I'm Guardsy this Sunday. Vikings watch party unlike any other at the all-new Hop House at Mystic Lake Casino. Don't miss a minute of the action on the giant wall TV displays. Enjoy the best seats, food, and beverages. We'll have trivia, prize giveaways as well. All game long, hosted by me. The party kicks off at noon, and the details are at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Mase in Your Face is back with us in studio for the hour. Kessler will follow the top 5 at 5. Mase has even brought guests. This is what he does occasionally. He surprises us, Guardsy, with a guest.
Don't we know it?
That's Mase, though. He's always been a man of the people.
What do you think of my guest?
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. And surprisingly kind to me, which is not always the case with women who might accompany you.
She said to me, I listened to the radio, and that Dan Burrell seems like a real nice guy. I said, oh, boy.
If you only knew.
Don't judge anybody by what you hear on the radio.
Well, you know what it is? She sounds objective.
Yeah.
You're not objective. That's your problem. What was the yarn you wanted to spin? Was it Iowa State related?
Oh, you're talking about Brian Kelly?
Oh, yeah. Let's introduce that, and then we can get to that place. So the I guess development in the Brian Kelly story is that now we're hearing that LSU is saying, well, we don't want to have to give you that big buyout, so we're going to fire you. We think we can fire you with cause, because allegedly there were some out-of-contract settlement proposals they offered that weren't for the total amount. The Kelly people aren't going for it, and they're saying, well, we're going to be able to fire you with cause. I don't know how that's going to be possible, other than, as Guardsy and I said, faking a Southern accent. Is that firing for cause? I'm not sure that's fraud? Enough. Is that fraud?
Well, Dan, here's what happens, though, okay? So LSU said, well, we're going to fire you with cause. And the other side, no, well, and then LSU says, well, we're not paying our legal fee. I mean, taxpayers are. We'll tie this up for litigation forever. And then they come along and say, I'll tell you what, you don't want to.
I see.
We owe you 54.
A settlement.
We'll give you 20 and call it a day. And you know what I mean?
Yep, sure.
Does he do what it does? But you know what it reminds me of? And I got to tell you, maybe I've told this story before. I'm going to tell you because it's appropriate. When I was an assistant coach at Iowa State back in the mid-'70s, a guy by the name of Lou McCullough was the athletic director. He had been my position coach at Ohio State. So one day he takes me to lunch, and he says, I'm going to give you a little advice. He said, I got a sneaking suspicion you're going to be a head coach someday. And he said, when you become a head coach, make sure you have a screw you file. I said, oh, what? You know what that is? I said, I have no idea. He said, well, let me tell you, if you're a head coach long enough, one of these days, they're going to fire you. And not only are they going to fire you, they're going to say, we're not going to pay you. So when they say, screw you, you say, no, screw you. And you bring out your file that has all the dirt on them. I never forgot that. So years later, I get hired at Kent State. After I get the job, Paul Amadio was the athletic director. I told him that story, just like I'm telling you, verbatim. A couple years later, I went to Kansas, and Bob Frederick was the AD. Told him that story verbatim. Came to Minnesota after I had the job. I told Mark Dienhart that story. Then I told Tom Moe that story. And then I told Joel Maturi that story. And sure enough, one day I get a phone call. And
not in person?
Phone call.
Oh.
I was 10 miles away. Come on.
That's a long... Traffic was heavy that day. Yeah.
It was a Sunday, I think.
It was.
But anyway, Mr. Maturi tells me that they've made a decision to change the leadership. I said, what?
Are you nuts?
And he said, we've changed the leadership football program. I said, you mean I'm fired? And he said, well, I wouldn't put it that way. I said, well, how would you put it? And I said, listen,
God, I wish we had that recorded. I
said, I am a big guy and how this works. I don't agree with it, but that's the way it is. However, I said, I've upheld my end of the bargain. I expect the University of Minnesota to uphold their end of the bargain. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, I expect to get paid every penny that's coming to me. He said, I don't think that'll be a problem. And I said, I don't want to hear that. I want a guarantee from you that that's going to happen. He said, well, I can't give you that guarantee. And I said, Joel, don't worry. Don't forget about my screw you file. He said, is that a threat? I said, no, just a reminder. I got everything within a week.
Mace in your face.
Now the most important follow-up question, how thick was that screw you file? And if you saved it, do you still have it in the bank vault?
Full disclosure.
Wells Fargo.
Full disclosure.
Yeah.
I never had a file. I didn't.
Mace in your face.
You bluffed it.
I bluffed it. Yep.
Good poker player.
Yeah,
there
that's
it
right.
is.
Yeah.
But it worked. You got every penny.
But let me just tell you, full disclosure.
You didn't get your TV.
If full disclosure, if I hadn't got my money, I'd have made up a lot of stuff and put it in that folder. I'll tell you that.
Mace in your face.
We still got to get you that TV. By the way, this is from Ames, Iowa guy. Which years was Mason in Ames? What is his go-to at Hickory Park and Great Plains sauce and dough?
Oh, in fact, that place at the Hickory Park,
Yeah.
that's the place where Luke McCullough told me that story.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
Great
Boom.
barbecue place. I forget what it, but I tell you, I used to go there all the time. I was there in 76 and 77. Yep. 76 and
77.
Yeah.
This is from Matt out of the East Metro. I've got a Mace in your face story. Fall of 99, I was a second-year MBA at Carlson. 6 of us rented an RV and went to the Sun Bowl against Oregon. Yes, we chose to spend the turn of the millennium in El Paso. I was there
did you.
too. Yeah, I was there. Got sick. We had a couple and then went to watch the Glen Mason show hosted by Mike Max. We were well behaved while the camera was on, but we definitely tried to crack Mace up during the breaks. A couple of weeks later, one of the guys, not me, had an internship with the athletic department. He passed Mace in Bierman. Mace got a couple of steps past him, stopped and said, "You were one of those guys in El Paso. Thanks for not ruining my show." Any recollection of that? Well, you've had so many, moments like that. You probably don't even remember.
I kind of remember that. Yeah.
I wish they would actually cause trouble during the show just to get you going.
Why would you wish that?
I can't help myself.
I know it.
I'm a rabble-rouser. You know that.
Now, here's the difference. Let me go back to Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
Here's the difference down south. SEC. Mm-hmm. In the old days, they used to fire these guys because they got caught cheating.
Yes.
And they still pay them. And they still pay them because they wanted them to keep their mouths shut. All right? Well, that stuff's still going on down there, but it's legal now.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
What is he going to say? Well, we're buying players. Well, you can buy players.
It's not even news.
They've lost the leverage.
Yeah, that's very, very good.
But does LSU think this will help them get a big-time coach coming in?
No, that's a very good question. Yeah. Well, you heard it. The governor has basically said they fired the AD.
Yeah.
They're claiming, the LSU claim, as I understand it, is that the AD didn't even have the right to fire him. And that's why they're, I think, adhering to the notion that, well, we didn't fire you technically yet, and so we're going to do it the way we should have done it, the way the AD didn't, fire you with cause. That's at least what they're trying to do. I don't think it's going to be very successful.
They just don't want to pay the guy.
They don't want to pay what's his buyout? Is it 50?
$54 million.
Yeah, $54 million.
Yeah.
It's hard to know who to root for here, though, Mace. I got to be honest with you. It's very difficult to root for Brian Kelly.
Well, no,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm not a Brian Kelly guy, but I'm going to just tell you something. Brian Kelly didn't put a gun to these guys.
No, 100%. That's true.
How many times have I said these schools, and I'm not begrudging anybody, but these schools, these ADs and presidents and board, they've lost their mind. The salaries they're paying and in agreeing to a buyout of, 54. What is the guy we looked at Georgia? Is $100 million?
Yeah, I think
Kirby Smart, yeah.
I mean, are you crazy? Who would agree to that?
Should Iowa have beaten Oregon? I mean, they didn't. In the end, I guess,
they played a heck of a game. I mean, you look at certain play. Everybody wants to look at a play at the end of the game, but obviously that snap that went over the punter's head,
2 points
in the rain. You know, to start off that way. And then Iowa battles back and they take the lead, and because of their defense, you think, well, they're probably in pretty good shape, except all they need is a field goal to beat you. That's a big difference, right?
That's true.
If they're up by 4, boom. And with that, what's the quarterback's name? Moore? Is that his name, Moore?
Dante Moore.
That throw that he made on third down, and that was well covered. And I mean, a great throw at exactly the right time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Playing it, you would think that they're sick down in Iowa City. They played well enough to beat Oregon
and Indiana.
They played well enough to beat Indiana.
Yeah, that's true. They've had 2 tough losses that way at home. I would argue the Gophers Friday night. This is the third time they've played a heavyweight opponent this year, because I don't put Nebraska in that classification.
They shouldn't be in that.
So they get killed by Ohio State. Maybe that's expected. They're non-competitive against Iowa. Can they be competitive against Oregon? I mean, do you give them any chance to knock off the Ducks Friday night, prime time?
Well, anything can happen. If I was a bettor, would I put money on it? No. Are they catching Oregon at the right time? Possibly. I mean, they're playing early, and they played on the road away in Kinnick Stadium in a tough ball game. Is it easier to come back from a tough ball game or an easy win? The thing about it, you get battle hardened. If it becomes a close game, and that's what I talked about Indiana. Now they've been in a couple of close games. They know how to act when all the pressure is on them, and they believe that it's happening. But I think that's tough duty for the Gophers going out there, playing on the West Coast, playing Oregon, who's a good football team. And I tell you, you think about Oregon, everything they do, they run the ball well. They've got a good offensive line. To run the ball the way they did against Iowa.
Let me ask you something.
Impressive.
If you had an offense that was averaging 5.6 yards a carry on the ground, would you hand the ball off more than like 12 times?
No, who are you talking to? Come on.
KOC.
No, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
It's
a problem. I don't understand why he hates why does he hate the run? Is it the thing I want to look, I'm the quarterback whisperer, so it's got to be pretty.
Wait a minute, bro.
What is all this?
Well, now you're doing that, but he used to be, what is PJ hate the pass? You remember when you used to get on me all the time about that?
Because there's middle ground here. That's the problem.
The idea is you do what you have to do.
Well, he ain't doing it.
The idea...
Just saying.
When I get done, you can talk, okay? I mean,
you interrupt me all the time. What are you talking about?
Well, that's okay.
I see. You're the guest, so you could,
So, but my point being, you listen. The idea is to control the ball, move the ball, and score points. I mean, do what you do there. One of the big problems that I have, and we talked about it, the Michigan State game.
Yes.
You're struggling. You're not a good football team. It's 2nd and 1. Don't be a G. Run, think, well, I can get a yard in 2 tries, and then keep the ball and do what you want to do.
A new set of downs.
But, one of the problems that I have at all levels, I'm just going to say this. When I see guys on the sideline and they're looking at that play sheet, I'm thinking, what are you looking at? It's not that complicated. How many plays do you have?
And they got a lot in pros. Why? You know that. The sheet's taller than the person
but why?
now.
I think they're trying to improve your.
You think it's what it is? You're trying to impress people.
Yeah. Come on. Huh? I mean, it's
a very sophisticated game now, Mase.
I love when you hear John Gruden and he starts those clips on there when he's doing the play call, Well, I'm going to tell you, if you have to name what every player is doing there, are they not smart enough to learn the plays? Why don't you just call it 42?
Yeah, right.
Now you got to call the motion.
You tell me. You're in the game. It's your game.
I'm just telling you. I just worry that if you're looking in that sheet all the time,
Yeah.
you're missing what's out there on the field. That's my personal opinion.
Hold on 1 second. Garza, did you see the J.J. McCarthy news?
I sure did, yeah.
Limited in practice today with a hand injury. Right hand.
Yes. You heard it during the Ravens game.
He claims he hit his hand on a Ravens player's helmet on the throw to the end zone for J.J., the one that J.J. probably should have caught. When asked if it affected him, he said, if you slam your hand in a car door, it's going to feel different. But there's no excuse. We're warriors, and you just got to push through. Another injury for J.J.
That's crazy, right?
I'm just saying.
KOC did say today, he said today that if it was like tomorrow, like he expects him back tomorrow, no problem. Like it wouldn't even been a thing if it was another day.
Yeah. Well, I'll let's see. You never know what this develops into. Let me ask you a question as a former coach. And maybe you didn't concern yourself with these things. But as a guy who I think I've gotten to know a little bit regarding what you value when it comes to a player performance, would there be any part of you, if you're the head coach, and not something necessarily you would say out loud, but that internally you'd go, I like my quarterback a lot. I like JJ. I like what he represents, what he might become. I don't need stuff about how he's got this alter ego and he calls himself 9 on game day. I don't. Just go play. Just go play. So, would that bug you at all as a guy?
Yeah, it would. Yeah. I come from a different era. You might say old school, dinosaur or whatever, No,
so do I, unfortunately.
But my friend Gary Holman, who you've been in here.
Yeah, of course.
He jokes about all the time. He's been around me when he would hear me say to a player, why don't you just shut up? Be a little bit more demonstrative than that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
In fact, he tells one time he was in Chicago at media day, and I was sitting at one table, and I'll tell you who it was. Darryl Reed was sitting at the other table, and as I was listening to him, and I had to turn around and in front of everybody, and tell him, "Shut up,"
Yes.
It just
that was a challenge. Darryl could talk.
Well, he shut up when I said
he was
it that
great
way.
for us.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. But I mean, it's crazy.
Just wait a while. I mean, just develop. I'd say just show a body of work that goes. Because I like him as a player. I think he's got a chance to be really good. He's been very inconsistent.
Darryl Reed?
No, well, yeah, JJ. But come on, man. Because isn't it true that every football player has to have an alter ego on game day, Saturday or Sunday? The game's crazy. The game is barbaric. You have to be different on that day than any other day, right? By definition. It's a brutal game. You know this.
Yeah, it's not meant for everybody.
No.
It really isn't. And but there's a lot of different characters out there.
That's true.
Some guys don't say a word, and then other guys
fair.
they're just they go nonstop. But at the end of the day, it's how you play. And the thing about it, when you do all the other stuff, if you back it up the way you play,
that's true.
It's okay.
That's okay.
But
that's
if you're
true.
one of those guys, I talk about all the time. What cracks me up when I'm watching a game at any level, especially pro football, when all of a sudden a guy will make a sack and he'll have to run to the middle of the field and do a dance.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's a lot of that.
And there's 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and you're down by 30 points. What are you doing? You look like,
Well, I mentioned there was a Bear defensive lineman 2 games ago who sacked the QB and was so busy celebrating he didn't notice that the QB fumbled the ball during the sack. That's a problem. It's like you got to play the rest of the play at least, and that was in a closer game, but nevertheless the same issue.
See, he had it planned out. The whole week he said,
"Yeah, that's true.
If I sack a guy, here's what I'm going to do."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Question: so you didn't really? Are you picking the upset, Gophers over Oregon?
No.
You're going Oregon.
I'm not doing that.
Okay.
What's the point spread? 25 points, I think, isn't it?
Is that what it is? Is it that many points, Guardsy? What is the Gopher? I didn't realize it was that high.
It's 3 touchdowns.
It's 3 touchdowns?
Yeah.
I might be tempted to take the Gophers. I don't think they're going to win, but man, that's a lot of points.
A lot of 25.5 points. 25.5.
That's
Wow.
considerable. When's the last time we've been? Well, probably Ohio State.
Ohio State, probably.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a lot of, that's hard. That's hard to pick,
Yeah.
Now, if I was a gambler, if I don't believe in the Gophers, I ain't betting Oregon. That's too many points.
Yeah, that's probably the way to go.
out
You're
there,
right about
you don't
that.
know.
Yeah.
It rains all the time. And
Yeah, correct.
maybe the duck doesn't feel good. I don't know.
Question for Mase, is Wisconsin really just a healthy starter caliber quarterback away from becoming a competitive team?
I haven't seen them play, to be honest with you. I know that everybody's upset. I know they've had some injuries. A couple of young linebackers are playing now that they're really excited about, and they haven't been able to play the quarterback
Right,
that they wanted to play. I don't know. The thing about it is, if you still have Wisconsin on the schedule, you don't like to see them win the way they did against Washington. Does that bring them together? Does that give them the confidence?
Right.
Does that give them the little juice that's going?
They got Indiana next.
And you talk about Washington, you talk about problems. How about Jed Fish, their coach? The whole word out there, he wants out. He wants to leave. He's not happy. His wife hates Seattle. Supposedly, she don't want to live
Seattle?
She doesn't
I
want
always
to live
liked
there.
Seattle.
Then you should go out
Then
there.
I should move there, yeah.
She doesn't want to raise her kids there. She's moved back to Arizona. I don't know if that's true or not.
Wow.
But it's all
It's your
over.
guy, Jed Fish.
It's all over the internet.
Wasn't he your guy?
My guy, he was here with Brewster.
He was here with
That's
Brew.
right. He was Brew.
That's not very fact with fiction, though. Going, his wife and kids moved out. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good
that's a
point.
tough one,
I let
Mace.
that I glossed over that too easily.
We're not at Maggie's in Wayzata having coffee. This is the radio.
No, I'm playing you now.
I knew I'd get blamed. Eventually.
I'm on your side on this one, Dan.
But I can't win because then I'll still be blamed even though I didn't say it.
Well, okay, well, all right, Mr. Computer and behind the glass. You check everything I say. Check it out. Get on
Mr.
there.
Computer. I just can't believe you would say something. I don't know if it's true or not. That's a pretty big thing to say.
Well, I qualify it at least. Other people talk like they know it's the fact, and it's not.
Well, yeah, it's.
All right, I'll Google it.
I'm curious though about that Seattle opinion. That's
And wait a
interesting.
minute. Let me tell you, this has been around for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
Now. That's why, sometimes on the internet, half the stuff you see you can't believe. But the other end of that, if there's enough smoke, there's probably fire someplace. So I'm just saying.
That's often the case.
Yeah.
What's
All right, so the family, his wife and kids remained in Arizona. They didn't move to Washington because they want
shock
to let.
jock? Mason's
Why?
a shock jock.
Wait, he's been there how many years?
This is his second year, I think.
Okay, yeah.
It's okay. That happens.
His daughter
sometimes
wants to
in
finish high school in Arizona.
Yeah.
You can't blame him for that. Heard it.
But one of the problems is his name, because he's Jed Fish and he's never lived anywhere for more than 10 minutes, has popped up in some other coaching jobs. So
Well, that
people
doesn't make him a bad person.
No, but they're questioning his roots because his roots aren't even there.
Come on.
So
So
I'm gonna stand tall for Jed
now
Fish
he's siding with me.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Jed. It's his choice. If he wants to change jobs every 15 minutes,
I didn't
he can.
say that. I'm just.
No, it sounds like you're ripping that. And it
No.
sounds like Guardsy's ripping that.
he has a 16-year-old who's been in 5 different schools in the last 8 years. He wants to let her finish her high school.
What's wrong with that?
That's a good family man
Well,
right there.
maybe he should have thought about this before they moved 5 times.
Well,
You ever think of that?
Mace
Gotta
in
build a
your
career.
face.
it's too good. It's unbelievable. What did I have? I had another text for you. I'll tell you what. I'll save them. Let's stay on schedule. A break here. I got a couple of other things to get. I got a math problem for you to discuss. Maybe we'll talk about some other national stuff and anything else that's stuck in Mase in your
I got
face's
one
craw.
thing.
You got one left?
Oh, I got
okay.
one really bugging me.
Good. Hold on to that. We'll come back with that. And then top 5 followed by Pat Kessler. Mace, I need your help on one story. What exactly did Michigan State get caught doing, and what's the punishment?
Well, they had to vacate all their wins for 3 years.
3 years
Yeah,
worth.
I think it was. I think it must have been recruiting violations or something. But the irony of it, I found out about it on Instagram, and Michigan Go Blue or Go, whatever it may be, is there, and they're howling about it that they had to vacate all their wins, and there's sign stealing. They didn't vacate anything.
Not one, did they?
Not one thing. I wonder why.
I have
it's
no
amazing.
idea.
We used to joke all the time. when I was at Ohio State, and we played by the rules. We say,
of course you did.
But we used to joke and say, we ever get caught doing anything bad, probation, they'll put Cleveland State on probation.
Mase in your
What period is
face.
this, Dargy?
To answer both questions, this is the Mel Tucker era. You remember Mel Tucker
Mel
got
Tucker.
fired
Yes,
for
yes.
the sexual harassment stuff a few years ago.
That's right, yeah.
And so they used 3 ineligible players that weren't eligible for some reason, but they used them in the game. And the theory is Michigan State, going back to the Brian Kelly thing, wants to continue. I don't think the Mel Tucker thing has been settled. They want to fire Mel Tucker for cause.
For cause, we're back to that. Okay.
And not pay him, I think, a $90 million buyout at
So
the
they're
time.
actually welcoming these charges.
They
in this
did
case.
not fight these.
Yeah.
They did not. They did
That's what
not
I'm talking
fight
about.
these like Michigan fought the Connor Stallion stuff. They did not fight these as vociferously.
Do we know where Connor Stallions is these days? I thought I saw a tweet from him the other day about something.
He was, I think, at a high school doing some coaching.
Doing some high school coaching?
Yeah.
But you talk about the NCAA.
Yes.
Which favorite thing. Did you see they just settled for $303 million? You have to pay out a term. They volunteer coaches. There was in some sports. I don't think football and they've already had to settle in the sport of baseball. I don't think football and basketball had it. A volunteer coach. And the rule was they couldn't get paid. So it's like, no, you can't do that. You can't restrict earnings, by somebody. And what's amazing, do you remember back in the 90s, they lost a big lawsuit because basketball had a position called a restricted earning coach.
Okay, yes.
And they lost it and that was for even more money than this, I think. You'd think they would have learned their lesson. You wonder who's making the decision. Don't they have a lot of lawyers there?
No, they do.
Say,
but not very good ones, apparently.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, they just pay that money out. They make nothing. They just spend other people's money.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about the betting thing. Is it that the NCAA allowing college kids to bet on pro sports? Is it that their lawyers are telling we would lose the case in court? And I'd say, well, then get better lawyers. I mean, it doesn't seem like the NCAA has very good lawyers. They're not doing very well when things go to court, other than big settlements like this.
I don't buy that because they got all kinds of rules, right?
They just have bad rules.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting nailed on this when it comes to money. They were making money. It all started with that EA Sports off a kid's name likeness.
Right.
Oh, they don't get anything.
Yeah.
How do you use the kid's name and all this stuff, and you're making lots of money off it, and they don't get a piece of the action? Well, that's not right. But on this deal, I don't know. I don't know if it's legal or not. But to me, why I can't understand what positive thing comes out of saying it's okay. Go ahead and bet. All the odds are against you.
It's a disaster.
It's a disaster.
In the waiting, in the making, I guess I should say. That's very true. Interesting. This is from 507 guy. What size was that TV that Mase never got back? I think I could manage to swing that for Mase and his commitment to the show. Somebody's trying to offer you a TV. So what do you remember the size of the TV in your office?
I think it was about 81 inches.
Yeah. That's what I thought you'd say. I'm guessing it was like a postage stamp from back in the day, right?
It wasn't very big.
Wasn't very big.
No, it wasn't very
maybe
big.
you can end up with a new flat screen out of the deal. He seems interested.
It wasn't. No, I want you to say something before I get too far.
Yeah.
You always say something. What's been bugging you?
Yeah. What's stuck in your craw?
I'm just not a sport guy. I'm into a lot of things.
We know that.
The other day I was downtown. Now listen to this.
Downtown what?
Downtown Minneapolis.
Okay.
And I stopped to get a cup of coffee. And I walked in a place. It was crowded. Looked like a nice place. Got the coffee. And I proceeded to pay for it with money, cash.
Why?
Cash. And they said, we don't take cash.
I don't blame them.
Why? It's legal tender. And I said, wait a minute.
Get your card out.
I didn't have a card with me.
No, you didn't?
So, I mean, I used
So they literally...
That's wrong.
Did you get to keep the coffee? Did they let you? They say, we'll give you this one?
I sat down and started crying and they let me keep it.
Sympathy vote, huh?
Really, though?
Well, there are some places like that.
What happened to cash is
a lot
king.
of places.
I don't carry any
Cash is king.
cash. So do you carry a lot of cash?
No, you don't because you never want to buy. I understand
How much on an average day?
Mase in your face.
Average Mase day, how much do you have in your pocket?
$200.
$200, okay.
Yeah.
Don't say that. People are going to be
That's old school.
Grabbing him now.
That's old school. Because I don't think most people do that anymore. I don't. Guards, do you carry any cash? I carry no cash.
I carry maybe $20 like in my bag.
I don't even carry that. Yeah.
That's cash is king.
When you used
How
to
do
get
you tip a guy? That's
easy
right.
to tip
You
it.
guys don't tip.
No, it's easy to tip. You
don't
tip
tip.
right on the machine.
It's never been easier. Now you
It's
get
never
tip
been
shamed.
easier.
Everything's 18%.
How about the guy that opens the door for you? You don't tip him? No,
Opens the
you
door
don't.
for
Yeah,
me?
you don't like
What are
it.
you talking
You
about?
valet park and the guy opens the door.
Why do you think we're valet parking? I mean, we're not like you. We're normal people that just park our own
You're the one
cars.
who's got that. You live
I
in that
forgot.
rarefied air.
We're happy to park our own cars and
I
walk.
forgot.
We don't need a guy driving the vehicle for us.
I'm probably riding my bike.
If you go to a restaurant and get the bill, you don't think that waiter doesn't rather have the cash, give him the cash? You know they do.
I don't think anymore that matters, does it?
Sure it does.
Okay.
Ask him.
So you never pay with a credit card?
I didn't say
Well,
that.
that's what I'm saying.
you
So
could
what's
tip
I didn't
with
say
cash.
that. I'm just saying if you go to pay for cash, they should take the cash. It's
You can
legal
still tip
tender.
with cash.
It's legal tender.
Dan, insiders tell me that Pam Borton got Mace's TV and took it when she got canned. That's Mike and Woodbury. Pam Borton ended up
Oh, God, I can't believe
with the
it.
TV.
Where's she now?
Well, how did you and Chris Voles get along, by the way?
Well,
We're doing this with 2 minutes left.
Chris Voles was the women's AD.
Yes.
When I first came, there was two separate departments.
Yep.
We were cordial. We didn't have much interaction. Kind of cordial. I mean, I was all for women's sports. Now, some of the things that she would bring up, I'm serious. I remember one time she used the word shiro.
Shiro.
What the heck's a shiro? I
You didn't know what it meant.
I didn't, and it's a female hero.
Female hero.
That was
A shiro.
a shiro. Yeah.
Why can't a hero? I thought a hero could be a man or a woman. I never thought
I don't
a hero.
know.
Yeah,
I
what's
can't
wrong with
tell
hero?
you.
Shiro.
Yeah. So I was dying to ask her, what do you call a manhole cover? But I didn't want to do that. I thought there might be something creative there.
Oh, man. You can't let... Where is Chris Voles, by the way, these days?
She lives in California,
Does she?
I think. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
I said this during the break. She despised Royce and me more than you did.
Well,
and that should have been the unifying
That's
factor.
why they got along.
That was
That's why they were cordial.
That was a very redeeming quality
It's
that
still
she had.
so good.
She was very smart on that front.
Out in the boonies in southwestern Minnesota, they don't take cards. I'm with Mace.
There you go. I'm gonna tell you.
What about
Do
in
they
Fargo?
take credit cards in Pine City?
It's
They
un-American.
do, yes. They do.
It's un-American. You should. I'm not against credit card, but I'm saying if you don't think that right away, right off the top, when they're paying that 3% credit card, they know everybody. If they're not going to raise that product to have the consumer take care of it, you're wrong.
Tell Mace he can use his phone to pay. He needs to learn Apple Pay.
That's
Could've
still
used
a
Apple
credit
Pay.
card. You still got to put a credit.
Yeah, but you don't have to carry the card. You just got the phone with you.
I want to pay in cash.
When you used to go to the now gone Starbucks in Wayzata, downtown Wayzata one, did you pay cash or credit card?
Cash.
Cash all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, I do have servers and bartenders definitely prefer cash tips because they do not accurately claim them on their taxes. So I guess you're right.
Yeah.
I guess
Well,
you're
that's not the ethical Mace I know.
Well,
You wouldn't want to be a party to that.
Oh, wait a minute. No. Not paying taxes for these people like that. We pay too much tax as it is.
You think so? Well, why do you think Louis left?
No, wait a minute. Do you know, in
Why do you think
Here
Louis?
we go.
we didn't have income tax in this country until 1913.
You know,
I'm going to tell you. And it was supposed to be a temporary
We also didn't have roads.
if it was up to
Wait a
Mace,
minute.
we would bring
Oh,
back the.
just get out.
We would
There's
bring
a
back
lot,
the wig
lot of things
party.
we didn't have there.
You remember the wig party?
1930. It's supposed to be a temporary thing.
Yeah.
Well, then it became, and it was only supposed
Didn't
to be.
have schools or police.
Will you be quiet?
Let me
You
ask
know
you
you're
something,
talking.
Mace.
It was only for the top 1%.
Here's the thing.
Only top 1% paid that.
Well, that's
And then they said, "Oh no, wait, we got to get everybody."
Well, that's
and
still the case. You're in the top 1%.
And then we got to say sales tax.
Yeah.
Oh, you buy a home, tax again.
you know what? No one's
Bad.
forcing you to live here. You could move to. You could go
It's
to move to
anywhere.
Texas. You could move to Florida.
Love it or leave it.
No state income tax in Texas. Is there one in Florida? I don't think there is there either. Is there?
Florida, Texas.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee doesn't have
There
it.
you go. You love traveling. Maybe it's time for you to
Maybe.
That's what Louis did.
Yeah,
Why do you think Louis got his residence in?
Oh, Mr. Minnesota, come on! You can't accuse him of that.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, the cat's out of the bag on that one. All right, we got to go. Anything else before we go? I think that's it because we're late, and Kessler's time is being affected.
You would win the mayoral race in Wayzata with your no tax on
Not in
anything
Minneapolis.
plan. Yeah, Minneapolis, you'd be in trouble.
You'd be in
Wayzata,
big trouble. Yeah,
you'd be very popular.
Barry Goldwater in Minneapolis, but you'd be perfect for Wayzata.
I'm just going to tell you that there's, Oklahoma plays Alabama at Alabama.
That's true.
And
You're picking the upset?
I think this is right. I'm not positive. I don't think that Alabama has ever beaten Oklahoma during a regular season game.
Really? That's a good
both
stat.
games they've won. I'm not sure that's right. But
There's another one, fact or fiction. What is it?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
I threw it out there. I'm qualifying it. So.
I'm only 38 and I pay cash half the time. Mase is right. I thought tips aren't taxed anyway. What's the difference? That's true. They're not tipped anymore, are they? Or taxed anymore? I think that's all been changed.
Up to you make a certain amount of money.
Cash is legal tender if you have already legally offered to pay and therefore technically no longer have to. You no longer have to.
See? So they should have to give me that coffee for free.
Let Mase cook. Be quiet, JG. Wow. All your friends are calling in today. They're texting in today.
You know why, though? Because people didn't know that there was an income tax for 1913. Until he starts barking.
You know who you should talk to about it? Kessler. Get Kessler on the tax stuff.
Yeah.
Former political reporter, Channel 4, for years.
Yeah, I know it.
I'm going to look into 1913 and see what else we're missing. What we can go back to. Simpler
Mase wants
times.
to bring back the Whig Party, I think.
Simpler times.
Don't you?
You guys
It'll be Carrie Buggy instead of Carrie Limo. That's what it would be if we went back to your world. Carrie Buggy.
And we want to thank our good friends at Jack's Cafe as well, doing an outstanding job sponsoring this segment.
See, when I go to Jack's, I tip in cash.
Yeah, sure you do, but you don't tip well.
I do.
I've heard what I've heard is you're not a bad tipper, but you're an average tipper. You rarely surprise anybody.
Depends what type of service they get. That's not true. That's not true.
That's what I was told.
By who?
I can't reveal my sources. I'm a media member. You know that. I can't give up my sources.
I'm a media member too.
Yeah, you are. You got your own sources. Yeah. That's true.
And I'm ashamed of it.
No, you're not. You actually revel in it. You can't get enough of it. You wish you would have done it sooner. That's the truth of it. Yeah. I'm getting some head nods on that, by the way, from the Peanut Gallery. Yeah. Just saying.
Wow,
see?
Verbal confirmation.
Verbal confirmation, yeah. All right, we got to go.
All right, goodbye.
Thanks for coming in.
Next week I'll be here again.
That's going to be 3 straight weeks, I think, or is it 4?
Maybe 4.
When's the return to Fargo? To the studios there?
I don't know when you go to the studio again.
Okay.
But
they know you well there, too.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, yeah. You become a fixture.
I would say I get treated the way I should. They have a cup of coffee for me.
They have stuff waiting for you.
They have salon.
We got coffee here. You can get it.
They treat me with respect. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, here, not so much. Yeah. Thanks, Mase.
Bye.
Let's pause. Top 5.
Vikings injury report, which shockingly includes the quarterback.